some very tough ones for that era and that time. You may remember, of course, there's always unrest, and there was serious unrest in Cincinnati with firefighters and with police. Firefighters were going on strike at the same time the firefighters in Memphis had gone on strike and left almost blocked downtown to burn. And the same thing had happened in Dayton. And I was on the air with the city manager and with the firefighters union president, and talking to them both simultaneously. We had our 2 live units out. And I said, Mr. City Manager, Mr. Murray, when was the last time you talked to Mr. Buckley? He said, a week ago. I said, Mr. Buckley, when was the last time you tried to talk to Mr. Murray? 2 weeks ago. I don't care. I don't want to talk to him. Well, you know, this is a great city. You know it. You've both been part of building this great city, and I don't think any of us want to see anything bad happen to it. Wouldn't it be worth a telephone call at least? And Buckley says, he knows my phone number. And Murray said, yeah, it'd be worth a phone call, I guess. And he did call, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, the strike was ended.
That same period of time?
Right then. From 11:14 to 2 a.m., they settled the strike. So that was very important. I was also on the air, unfortunately, when the Air Canada plane came down, a tragic event. Unlike other plane crashes, this wasn't a plane crash. This plane had caught fire in the air, and they were going to Washington, as I recall, and they had to find some place to put the aircraft down because the plane was burning inside, and they put it down in Cincinnati. And at first there was a news blackout, and nobody could find out what had happened. And finally, my sources over there told me, we've got 32 people down in that aircraft, and 36 escaped, but 32 did not escape. The plane landed, smoke trailing it. We got that news story and got it on the air, and ABC was caught a little short for Nightline. And so Ted Koppler, with whom I had worked on a couple of other stories, those were pre-prepared stories, said, Nick, I can't get anybody there fast enough. He said, can you anchor the program for me? I'll just turn it over to you and you tell us what's happening now. And I did, and did the Nightline program for them. That was 82 or 3, I guess. There were a bunch of other stories that stick in your mind, you know, but these are the kinds of things that we were doing. And it was a pretty good newscast. By the time we were finished with it, we were doing pretty well. I was by then the news director. And we had a rather small group, about 60 people. It was a nice lean group, and they were all good. Many of them ended up doing news elsewhere and getting into major cities as well.